What is up, guys? John Shuckman here. Welcome back to the channel. So excited to have you for today's video. And today I want to talk about vulnerability and how I believe it helps you in your business. We've talked about why I went to social media early in my real estate career. We've talked about why I believe social media works. And I want to talk to you now about vulnerability in my business and in my life and whether it works or not. So I want you to think about it. Do you think being vulnerable online hurts your real estate business or helps it? Most realtors that I talk to would say that it hurts it. They would say that they are scared to be vulnerable. They think if I share too much, people won't respect me, or they'll think I'm unprofessional, or they won't work with me, or whatever it is. But here is the truth that I have seen in my business. Every time I've been vulnerable, every single time, it hasn't pushed clients away. In fact, it has brought them closer. And in this video, I'm going to show you how vulnerability has changed my business and how I interact on social media. And I want to show you through stories that I've told, right? I talk about storytelling and sharing stories that you can attract clients and referrals when you do this. So stick with me because if you can get comfortable with being real and vulnerable and honest, I believe it will change your business forever. So we've talked about my journey, losing my job, 2019, terrified, new baby at home, all the things, right? No money, bills piling up. I felt like a big failure. I remember sitting there thinking, as I got into real estate, like I can't really share the journey, share the real stuff. If I post online, people, I have to kind of be polished. But, I've kind of shared with you guys how I was just sharing the journey, the open houses, the showings, taking Kaden to a house because Val was working. And I remember being so, nervous about it, but deciding to share it anyway. And so here's what happened. Here's what I learned. Instead of people pulling away or thinking that I'm not professional, I found so many people that really appreciated and respected me being real. So many people over the years, even especially the past couple months, who reached out and said, "Thank you so much for sharing that. I've been there too." People would reach out and say, "Hey, I've been through that. I'm going through that. Your story gives me hope." And that was one of the first moments. And over the years, every time that happens, it just reminds me that people connect with the real and raw you. You don't have to be perfect. You can share the struggle, you can share the success, but also what's not working, and people appreciate it, respect it, and feel like they, again, know, like, and trust you better. So I've shared so much from church hurt to talking about my journey with ADHD, financial struggles early on in our journey, even tough moments in our family, like what our son Caden has gone through being diagnosed with autism. I have shared that. And you know what? Every single time people lean in, so many reach out and say, "Hey, I really respect that and thank you for sharing that." Now, I want to be real with you as well. I don't want you using social media and like using your kids or your story or whatever to feel like you're trying to sell a house. That was never my goal at all. But what I have found is people don't connect with perfect. They don't want it to all be put together. They connect with real. So if all of you see, and we've talked about this, is like the just sold graphics, right? Those people are not being themselves. I think about my mentor, Jeremy Kane, and one of the things I've really seen him do, especially over the last few months, is build vulnerability on social media, sharing about their journey homeschooling, sharing about their different things that they're doing, sharing about their girls in gymnastics and what it looks like. And also, right, with three girls, they kind of feel like some days they are in a circus. And he doesn't, he's not like, "Oh, we have it all together, we're perfect." He shares the real. And he doesn't feel like, "Oh, I have to be flawless online." He feels and shows on social media that I can be real, I can connect with people, and I can be myself. So many people think, "Oh, I have to be perfectly polished, put together, whatever." But when you're real, when you share the ups and downs, people remember you. You stand out. You become relatable. Clients don't want to work with robots, just like they don't want to work with being on a conveyor belt. They want a human. They want someone that they feel comfortable with. And vulnerability is the shortcut to build that trust. Think about me right now. I remember getting into real estate and I wore a nice dress shirt and I wore a tie and all that from my days in banking. And I remember saying, like, I am not going to do this anymore. So my first headshots, I was in a tie, um, and dressed up, and I have not worn it since. Over time, I've kind of changed my outfit. When I started in real estate, it was like dress shirt and tie. Then I lost the tie, and then I lost the dress shirt, right? And just kind of wore polos or now my Wolfpack gear. This is dressed up for me, guys. This is dressed up for me. When you guys see me, I'm kidding. This is a t-shirt, but my Wolfpack polos is about the nicest you will ever see me. Do you not like it? Okay, well then you don't have to work with me. But I find that people attach a lot to, me and the brand and all those things, and they respect it and they don't feel like, oh, John's perfect and put together. They feel like John is real. And so you don't have to. And I also would say, if you want to dress up, if you want to wear a tie, like by all means, please do, if that's what you're comfortable in, right? But don't feel like you have to do it to, impress somebody. I really believe that the more vulnerable you are in the business, it will attract the right clients that appreciate you, respect you, and maybe they see themselves in your story. And so this works. It really does. So why does it work? Again, people don't actually connect with perfect because nobody's perfect. They connect with real, vulnerable, honest. So let's make this practical for you. What could you share online that shows vulnerability? Some of you share your kids, some of you don't. I'm not going to tell you what to do, right? Maybe it's a mistake you made at a showing. Like the time I got lost trying to find the lockbox and had to laugh it off with my clients. Maybe it's a moment like I had. I may have said this on one of my first few videos. I don't remember, but where I dropped the key in between the wooden deck and had to climb under in the rain and get it. Why does that connect with people? Because they see themselves in that moment. How many people are like, oh, yep, I've been there in the rain. I've been there when life isn't perfect. I've been there when it's pouring and I'm looking for something. Share those moments. People love it because it's real. Or maybe it's the struggles even of learning social media. I tell people on Realtors all the time, right? You don't have to do it my way. You can literally share, hey guys, I don't even know what to post, but I want to be more honest and vulnerable. So I just want to put a post out there. Who feels this? And you will connect with people, right? And some of that stuff early on gets no likes, no comments, whatever, right? But it is vulnerable, right? And so maybe it's the challenge of what it's like for you to balance business and family life, all those different things. People love when I share about my journey and what I'm growing with and learning as I'm growing as a husband, dad, person of faith, and a realtor. Why? Because they see themselves in that struggle. Vulnerability does not mean that you have to post everything about your life. I'm probably a little more, I share more than some of you. Some of you share a little less. That's okay. Vulnerability means that you intentionally share enough to show that you are a human, not a robot. And that's how people will, again, get to know, like, and trust you. And then what will happen? They see themselves in something that you post and they want to work with you. So the truth here is simple. People don't want to work with others that are perfect. They want to work with real people. And the more you show your real story, the more people will get to know you and feel like they know, like, and trust you. And that's what creates referrals and long-term relationships in this business. It doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to be political. And I'm sure we'll make a video about that at some point, right? But here's my challenge to you this week. Post something that feels raw and real and vulnerable. It doesn't have to be heavy. It could be a lesson you learned this week or 5 years ago or a challenge that you're facing or whatever. It could even be about a time that you messed up and grew from it because people love the lessons. So try it and watch how people respond because I'm telling you, people will connect with the real, raw version of you that then builds know, like, and trust. So if this video helps you, please make sure you hit that subscribe button because I've got 2 new videos every single week to help you grow your real estate business with social media. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you on our next video.